Cuz or Worst has uploaded a number of controversial videos on TikTok, from sharing tips for cheating on your partner to advising how to beat your partner. But even that doesn't come close to one he posted a few days ago, teaching men how to essay women. Let's investigate. If you enjoy internet mysteries and generally disturbing content, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications for more content like this. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can become a Ko-fi member or a channel member to gain access to uncut videos and other perks, or you can leave me a tip by clicking the thanks under this video. Thanks to anyone who considers this. This video will include discussions of SA and domestic abuse. Viewer discretion is advised. You can click the link in the description to become a Ko-fi member and watch an uncut and ad-free version of this video, which features extra details that were unsuitable for this cut. Cuz or Worst has been uploading on TikTok for around a year now, and most of his content is reactions to news headlines, memes, and sports discussions, particularly basketball. Throughout his time on the app, he's amassed over 220,000 followers and 16.3 million likes. Recently, he began posting a series of videos that are pretty controversial, to say the least. They are how-to videos in which he explains step-by-step how to do a number of messed up things, including how to cheat on your partner, how to beat your partner, and how to be a corrupt cop. Perhaps the least controversial was titled, How to Increase Your Hoe Rating in 2025. According to Cuzzo, this rating is, quote, the percentage that you're gonna clap some buns. So what revolutionary advice does he have for this, you might ask? Step 1 is to get frequent haircuts. Step 2 is to make sure you have an income, even if it's from selling drugs. Step 3 is meet her family. That way you can get better at communicating with future women's families. And step 4 is to have, quote, elite confidence. So this is the generic type of pickup content for men that seems to have become pretty common online these days. I do understand that some men find it difficult to find women, but I highly doubt this type of content is going to help at all. Surely it goes without saying that having a good haircut and a job will make you more appealing to women in general. Every single one of these types of videos I've seen on my FYP are saying the exact same things. Increase your income, go to the gym, become more confident. As if someone can just decide to suddenly become more confident anywhere. It's not a switch that you can just flick on. It takes a lot of inner work and experience, and none of these people are teaching that. They're just preying on men with low self-esteem, many of whom would probably benefit a lot more from therapy than from listening to some idiot recycle the same rubbish that other idiots have been saying for years. Anyway, I digress. While this video isn't anywhere near as bad as the ones we'll go on to cover, I think the way he speaks about women hints at his feelings towards them, such as calling them hoes. I know this is unfortunately pretty normalised online these days, but it's ironic calling women this when your video is literally teaching men how to sleep with more women, but I guess it's okay for men. Also, when he's talking about meeting a woman's family so you'll be more experienced for the next one, as if women are just replaceable toys that you can just discard and get a new one. I really don't care if a man wants to have contact with various different women, as long as that's what the women want too, and everyone's happy and consenting. But it's honestly just cruel to lead someone on, meet their family and everything, when you have no intention of things progressing with them. Cuzzo also uploaded a couple of videos on how to cheat on your partner. This time he actually did one for men and one for women too, so I guess we women should be grateful that he's now teaching us how to be shitty people too. Equality, right? So how do you cheat on your boyfriend? Well, first you make sure your phone is on, quote, super duper duper DND, so your boyfriend never sees any messages or calls from whoever else you're seeing. Then you have to always reassure your boyfriend that he's the only man you're dealing with. And the most important step is to manipulate him by accusing him of cheating. As for the men who want to cheat on their girlfriends, the first step is to be a master manipulator and smooth talker. You also need to make sure you have loyal homies who will never snitch on you, and finally get an Android, not an iPhone, to make it harder for your girlfriend to track you. I just don't understand why you would want to encourage people to betray their partners. Unfortunately, people always have and always will cheat, but is it really worth a few views to contribute to the problem? If you can't be loyal to one person, stay single or find an open relationship. Don't waste someone's time and destroy their mental health because you're too selfish and greedy to prioritize one person. Anyway, on to the next. How to beat your partner. Again, there was one video for women and another for men on this topic. Not that this makes it okay, but Cuzzo wasn't telling people how to beat their partners for nothing, he was directing it at people who are in abusive relationships. He still gives some really terrible advice there. The video for men was titled, How to Beat a Bitch in 2025, and the one for women was, How to Beat an N-Word. The first step in both videos is literally the only useful thing he says, which is to gather evidence of the abuse, take photos and call the police. The second step for men is to play defense first and warn her when she hits you that you will retaliate. The third step is to hit her in the face, then finally call the police and tell them you hit her in self-defense. As for the video for women, the second step is to pretend to be asleep when he gets home, then make sure you have a weapon, like a pan, nearby for when he comes to bed. Cuzzo even suggests you might want to shoot him. Step 4 is pretty much the same as the men's video, to call the police or a relative. So I think it goes without saying that these tips are a really bad idea. The only things you should do if you're in an abusive relationship are get any evidence you possibly can, take that evidence to the police, leave that person and never go back. In the moment, if you can defend yourself in any way, that's fine, but I don't think it's a good idea to plan to beat them back. It'll likely just escalate the situation, especially if they're physically stronger than you and can overpower you. You just don't know how that's going to end. The videos we've covered so far are still up on Cuzzo's page now, however there is one that was deleted, and it's so much worse than the rest. How to SA a woman in 2025. This is honestly one of the worst videos I've ever seen on TikTok, and I have no idea how he wasn't banned after this. It was just over a minute long, and in it, he described 3 steps on how to do it. Step 1 is pick a target, and he recommends choosing a woman who walks home from work, lives by herself, or is always alone. Step 2 is to learn her routine, what time she starts work, what time she finishes, when she goes to the shop, etc. Finally, step 3 is to take action. As soon as you see her on her way home, quote, do what you gotta do. Cuzzo goes on to say that he doesn't recommend anyone does this, and he started the video with a disclaimer stating that he didn't come up with the idea and he doesn't do this stuff in real life, he's just telling the people who do want to. I don't know if he thinks this makes him look any better, but it absolutely doesn't. Whether he does it or not, he's still encouraging others to, and the last part where he says he doesn't recommend it is clearly just to cover himself. He obviously doesn't care if any women get SA'd as a result of his video, or he wouldn't have posted it in the first place. The worst part is that these tips would probably work. It's not like he created some unserious video that could be passed off as a joke. It's entirely possible that this video could have actually resulted in cases of SA. Just a few hours ago at the time of writing this video, Cuzzo uploaded an apology video in which he said he had hit rock bottom and he understands the video caused offence and harm. He said he took responsibility for his actions and will learn from his mistake to ensure that his future content is respectful, inclusive, and promotes positive interactions between people. He plans to educate himself on consent, boundaries, and healthy relationships, and go to rehab 3 times a month, as well as church every Sunday to get a closer relationship with God. He said he isn't asking people to forget, but to forgive him for his ignorance and lack of respect. So I guess that was as good as any apology you could do after literally teaching people how to essay women, but I don't believe a word of it. There was no ignorance involved here. He knew exactly what he was doing. He didn't care about women getting SA'd thanks to his advice, he only cared when he started getting backlash from the video, and honestly I don't know what he expected. Him talking about educating himself on consent is just crazy, as if consent is some foreign concept that he's never heard of before. As for him going to church to get a closer relationship with God, all I can say to him is good luck. I'm not religious, but if God does exist, I think he'd save a special place in hell for people like this. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts in the comments, plus any topics you'd like me to cover in a future video. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. Huge thank you to my Ko-fi members and channel members whose names are on screen now. I really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in a new video.